Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
Psalm 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even mine enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell.
Square we're told, turning heads. It's making people not only stop and stare, but also reflect. A rare feat in the middle of one of the busiest places in the world.
People stopping and going, what the hell is that? Is not the same as self-reflecting, brother.
Sidney Maldonado shows us why.
At 12 feet tall, in the middle of Times Square, stands a bronze sculpture of a young woman.
It's instantly stood out. It's powerful.
Looks so tall and big.
Gangsters and gays. That's how black men are represented on the world stage. Gangsters and gays. Every time they try to present black men in the light, it's never as good fathers. It's always gangsters and gays. And every time they represent black women, it's always an obese, aggressive, single woman that doesn't have a family beside her or behind her. Go figure.
The sculpture, created by artist Thomas Price, was unveiled at Duffy Square last week, and in just a matter of days, it has stopped hundreds in their tracks. Who is she? Well, technically, she's whoever you want her to be.
Me being a plus-size black woman, I kind of looking at it was just like, oh, I wonder what me as a small child would have thought looking at something like that. Representation.
The piece is part of a series called Grounded in the Stars, which Gene Cooney, director of Times Square Art, says confronts preconceived notions of identity and representation.
To have this work here is making a statement, potentially asking questions about what we value as a city, as a society, and hopefully it's
What do we value as a city and as a society? We value obesity, having the shortest lifespans in America as a demographic because of heart disease coming from the obesity, single motherhood, being the last to get married and the first to be divorced. Or those are the things that we want to say that we value in society. This seems more like mocking than it does appreciating something. It seems like you're being mocked, not appreciated with this statue. This is silly. This is literally the definition of a participation medal. We are in, as a demographic, in last place in the country, but people are applauding a participation medal.
tribute to our shared humanity.
Tourists and New Yorkers we spoke with expressed different interpretations of what she represents to them.
It's a plus-size woman. I'm a plus-size man. I'm African-American. It's the African-American woman statue. So just seeing another piece for me to stop and just have a moment with was very powerful.
If you look at the eyes, it's looking straight at something. It's focused. It's purposeful.
The sculpture proves to be a well-liked juxtaposition placed among the more traditional statues in Times Square, which is the goal, according to officials, of placing said artwork in such a significant area.
Coming from a person of color background as well, it's really nice to see something come across as like this everyday person that looks a little bit out of place. But I also think that's because of where we are standing. It might not look out of place if everything in our surrounding reflected everyday life more to us.
I don't really care what the
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. You know, and just when you thought, you know, niggas couldn't hit a new all-time low, and here you go. Alright, and just as the guy from the video, I don't know the guy's name, you know, we're channeling the Poor Man's Podcast. Alright, he has, you know, a few little substance on his on this channel, you know, but going into it, alright, as he said, you know, this is mockery. Okay, and our people look at anything, you know, given to them or done, you know, and you know, that's publicized. You know, the fact that this is a statue in Times Square where all this traffic is, they think that this is a win, this is a flex. Okay, especially the women, that reflect this statue. Okay, and you look at the statue, all right, it's a bad built statue, all right, of an angry black woman, with them braids, them signature braids, okay, a wrinkled t-shirt, just sloppy, okay, and this is, all right, what Esau wants the representation of the women of our nation to be, and a lot of them fit this bill. Now this ain't all of them. All of them are not like that. Okay, what you have, the mass majority, they fit that bill. Some more than others, man. All right, and this is just mockery, man. This is the devil making mockery. All right, and he pushes it. It's talking about it's inclusive, it's inclusivity, But nah, man, this is a goddamn mockery, man. Okay, and if you're not ashamed of this, okay, you're a part of the problem, man. You should have shame of how this devil portrays our people, all right, on a global scale, man. All right, this is the world representation of Jake on the global scale, man. All right, like he said, the nigga woman is this bitter, aggressive, masculine, single mother, okay, and the man is either a mo, okay, or a gangster, all right, or a street nigga. Okay, and this is the box he puts Jake in. Okay, and this is how he presents Jake to the world. Okay, that's why you go here. This is mockery. All right, and the prophecies go into that. The curses. Deuteronomy 28 and 37, it says, "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee," man. And you read this in the NLT, you become an object, all right, of horror, ridicule, and mockery among all nations to which the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai sends you, man. All right, and our people have became a mockery, man. And these other nations, because you see how those other nations, they like to see Jake in this lower state. They like Jake to be in a position to where, to make them feel better about themselves, having pity on Jake or doing something for Jake. The scriptures say his children shall, try to give to the poor, and treat the poor, But this makes all the other nations feel good to see Jake in his lower state. Okay, that's why there's no problem with our people being obese. All right, single motherhood. Okay, there's no problem with Jake being, street niggas shooting each other up. See, there's no outrage about that. But when we say we're Israelites, we tell our people pull their pants up. The woman stop being out of order. Okay, stop eating food that destroy you. And we tell our people righteousness. Now there's an uproar. Now we're terrorists for telling our people righteous, man. Teaching our people in righteousness, man. But these devils, make these statues and, make these spoofs, and it's a mockery against Jake. Okay, and there's no outroar. There's no outcry. There's no uproar. Okay, but you go here to Lamentations 2. Okay, and 15. Okay, it says all that passed by, and this is when we was taken down by the Babylonians. Okay, it says, and all that passed by clapped their hands. Okay, they hissed and wagged their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, "Is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth?" And you read this in the NLT. It says, all passed by, jeer at her. Okay, they scoff and insult beautiful Jerusalem, saying, "Is this the city called most beautiful in all the world, and the joy of all the earth?" Okay, and this is the position we in now, is we in, the daughter of Babylon, America, and our people are downtrodden. Okay, they become just a joke and a scoff. Okay, to these nations, man. Even they act like they're, uplifting you, and they're there for you, man. It's mockery, man. Okay, this is a goddamn shame, man. The people are celebrating the bad built, angry nigga woman as a statue, man. Good grief, man. Good grief, man. Okay, Verse 16, it says, all your enemies mock you. They scoff and snarl and say, we have destroyed her at last. We have long waited for this day, and it is finally here, man. Our people are done. Jake is done, man. Okay? Men and women that's outside of Yahweh, they're done, man. Cooked, as they say, man. Okay? And this is what these heathens want Jake at, under their foot, man. All right? There's the mockery in the earth. While everyone else, because even the little Elamite woman said, it does seem out of place. You know? Yeah, it's out of place, man. That's not normal, man. The way our people are, all right, out of shape, and you know, their mindset, and they can't go nowhere, hollering and screaming, barely can talk. Niggas barely can read and write these days, man. Okay, that's not normal, man. Okay, yeah, that's out of place, man. Okay? But the heathens, they pat you on the back as you constantly degenerate further and further, man. You know, and you niggas think that it's you're being included in something, man. You know, the dire need to be included in something, man. You know, but the water, you know, for the remnant. Let's go here, Isaiah 1:9. It says, except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we would have been in Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah, man. So the Lord left a remnant, man. You know, that he's dealing with, man, that he's preserving for deliverance, man. You know, and we're going to be that beautified people in the earth again. And it begins with our conduct being beautified, man. You know, and as our people continue to take heed, you know, to the ways of America, man, we're going to just see them continue to get worse and worse and worse, man. More of a mockery until the Lord just ends this thing, man. You know, it's a goddamn shame, man. Good grief, man. Shalom.